Welcome to Live, Let, Thrive, a podcast about the Airbnb life, the share economy, and everything in between. Here are your hosts, Micah and Steve.
Hello, hello, hello.
And welcome back to another exciting episode.
Live,
Let
thrive.
Thrive.
What is up, Micah man?
I'm chilling, Stevie Stacks. How you doing?
Great. This is our third attempt. And third time's a charm, so we're going to nail this today. This is episode 168 of your favorite Airbnb, VRBO, short-term, long-term, share economy podcast in the world. 168, I said. And we have special guests today, Micah.
Who we got?
Peter Francis and Michael Kiriasis. Did I get that right?
Yeah, you nailed it.
All right. And they got behind them a goat riding a goat, it looks like. So I guess the two goats. I don't know what's going on here. And Micah told me about these guys. They said they are the goats, and I can't wait to hear why they are the goats.
They are the goats. I think I've been talking to them a while on Facebook. I've been following them, and man, there's some killers in the space. But I'm gonna let them go into who they really are. We're here with Peter and Michael. So Peter and Michael, tell us, hop right in. How did you guys get started in the space?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, we've known each other forever. I mean, oldest friends. We've been playing basketball since elementary school, and then became really good friends after that in middle school. When basketball didn't start till seventh grade, so we were a little bored in sixth grade and joined the musical Grease together. To get girls, but ever since then, yeah, we've always been great friends. And Peter was actually in Detroit working after college, and I was in Chicago in consulting with my girlfriend Maria, the third partner, and both of us, all of us knew we wanted to do something else in our lives and really make a lot of money, which is never going to happen in corporate. So Maria and I actually start out selling socks on Amazon and then flipping houses. And while we were flipping houses, we had just been talking to Peter a lot more about what can we do more in entrepreneurship together. And we had a need at the time to fill our house while we were waiting for it to be sold. And we were like, well, we could put this on Airbnb, and we'd been looking at Airbnb a little bit already. So even though the house ended up selling, we said we still really want to do this. And we had just heard of the Airbnb Arbitrage. I think we were actually listening to your podcast a lot at the time. So we went out and signed 2 leases in Chicago, put them up, and we were hooked. Just especially back then, 2019, we were making a lot of money from lease arbitrages and knew this is what we wanted to do forever.
It was a fun start. I was working in an office, and I'd listen to you guys. I would type in Airbnb podcast, and I think the first one I heard was in the 60s. It was with Syed, and it was Chicago, and it was talking about management, arbitrage, and I'm just I've listened to you guys in my earphones, every day at the cubicle, and finally we were able to sign a couple leases. We were starting to target. We would do Zillow blasts. We would walk for dollars. I was coming from Detroit to Chicago every weekend, and once we hit 3, it was all right, let's do this full time. There's no book on entrepreneurship. It's you figure it out for yourselves, and here we are, trial and error to here.
Yeah, Peter left his full-time job, moved to Chicago. We completely gave up flipping and wholesaling. We were like, we got to do Airbnb full time. And we've grown a good amount since in almost 3 years now.
Nice. First question, how does it feel to talk to 2 celebrities?
Pretty fun. Well, we've been really excited for this one, honestly.
Definitely. We're lucky. We used to reach out to Micah a decent amount with anytime we had questions on anything on the business. And that's the thing I love most about your guys' podcast is there was actionable steps and we were getting started. So it's pretty cool to be here.
That's pretty dope, man. Thank y'all for continuing to listen to our craziness, man. But yeah, it's been fun. How many units are y'all up to? I don't know if y'all said that, but how many units are y'all up to now?
We just hit 60 total. I believe of those 48 or 49 are live. The other are all signed, and we are either doing the construction or furnishing or whatever it takes. I think one we just signed today, so that's pretty exciting.
And you're 60. What location is that?
We are all over.
Yeah, we're all over. We started in Chicago, then also San Diego, Pittsburgh, Southwest Michigan, Michigan City, Malibu, and now Lake Geneva. Oh, I'm sorry, and Scottsdale, Arizona as well.
And launching in New Hampshire and Philadelphia in the next month or two.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, y'all are all over. That's insane. So I guess the first question I want to ask is how did y'all get out? How did y'all expand so much? You started in Chicago. How did you end up in San Diego and Michigan and Pittsburgh? How did you end up in all these different places?
San Diego, selfishly, we wanted to spend time there. So we're like, okay, dream life scenario is I love summers in Chicago, but I got to find something for the winter. I can't do another one. So San Diego is just one of our favorite cities. So we just started to look there. And we signed 2 4-unit apartment buildings a month before the pandemic started. So it wasn't the most ideal start. It was a little bit of a roller coaster. But going into the other cities is we had a couple of our biggest investors here in Chicago start getting really big into the vacation rentals. So Southwest Michigan. And I guess to preface a little bit, when COVID started, we were mainly lease arbitrage. We had a couple management clients, and when you lose that amount of bookings in a matter of a day or so, you got to figure something out. And so we kind of pivoted more now into a management company. And luckily, with some of our investors, they got real big into lake homes, and we did a good job for them in Chicago. And as they had their leases, their properties weren't getting booked during COVID. Right. We were a little more risk adverse. We have a really good screening system. So we lowered our prices, but we remained booked. It wasn't the profits or anything that we were projecting, but bringing in 60% of their payment compared to bringing in nothing, we were able to build a pretty
Especially
good
when
client
they
base.
couldn't rent them long term either. So they were kind of stuck. We gained a lot of clients from our competitors during COVID because, a lot of people came over to us that weren't getting any bookings, or then all of our clients were telling all of their friends like, hey, our guys are keeping us full. We really learned and beefed up all of our security with our cameras and our 24/7 team watching them and everything like that. So we actually ended up using COVID to grow a fair amount.
Nice.
Man. Oh, were you about to go, Steve?
Oh, I have a million questions, but go ahead.
I do. So like you said, you're in all these cities all over, right? So let's say you're looking at San Diego or somewhere where you're going to be remote. How do you guys set up the systems in that city before you go there? Like the cleaners, who's the boots on the ground? How do you guys analyze that before going into that city?
Finding that right, cleaner or turnover team essentially is like the most important part. And we've really found, I think, because we had to grow our business remotely to start, I think we're almost better at growing them remotely. So when we're not on the ground, like we're looking for just the most talented people. We keep joking that we have this personality type or avatar now that makes us very successful in other markets. We find either families or husband and wife duos where they are hungry for work, love working, say yes to everything. One, very good at cleaning and very detail oriented. Another one that's handy and does maintenance. And they want work so much, they're almost jealous if other people get the work. Though that personality type almost has created our best turnover teams and our best reviews in cities that we're in once a year, twice a year, and we'd love to be there more. That's the goal eventually, but that's crucial. And it's just a matter of getting out online on Turnover Airbnb, Facebook, Yelp, Google, and just finding everyone you possibly can to interview.
Oh, you said you have an avatar for talented people that you want to hire. That I've never heard on this podcast. When people talk about avatar, they're talking about a customer. That is genius. So how do you go about targeting that person? Like you said, you know who they are, but like, how do you go about targeting them? That was awesome.
You find out pretty quick.
Right. So
you talk to a couple of people, you kind of weed it down a little bit. And once you start off with the team, probably within the first 2 or 3 turnovers, how are they going to work? Do they work with our team? Are they taking pictures? Is there any kind of hiccups or anything that we go through? Did the guest reach out about anything? And then it's just kind of having those talks in the beginning and kind of setting your expectation. And it is one of those things where you kind of hire slow, you fire fast. And truthfully, sometimes we haven't fired fast enough, but it's one of those things where you can kind of see the levels of talent.
Yeah, we're talking about the people that are constantly coming up with ideas for your unit, and half the time they're just going ahead and doing them. And then, a lot of the time when things are breaking, we're finding out that it's fixed before we find out it's broken. And those are the types of teams that we want to work with.
I guess, I know y'all have seen this too, where cleaners and the turnovers is the hardest part. Finding good cleaners is the hardest part. Do y'all notice, is there red flags that pop up right away? Let's say, for example, that I guess said something about wasn't being clean or nothing. And just by the reaction of the cleaner, okay, they got to go. For example, if they throw out an excuse right away, that's automatically a red flag. Whereas if someone they freak out, oh my God, I must have done this or that. It's just the reaction tells you the whole story.
For sure.
And lack of communication. We kind of found with some, you don't really hear from them, and then you're kind of asking them, and then you're kind of moved on to the next thing. Having someone who's going to communicate with you, be pretty transparent, tends to work best with us.
But that husband, that's gold right there. People are listening, finding the husband and wife duo, because
too many of them for it to not be the case.
right. But because we have I'm lucky enough to have that in Fort Worth, a husband and wife duo that run the company together. Wife cleans. She's the best cleaner we ever had, and the husband, he could fix things, and we just tell him, hey, can you do this? We'll pay for it, whatever. Do you know how to do this? And he'll fix it. It's like, wow, that's the combo you want.
Yep.
Yeah.
Funny you say that. The cleaners we just hired, they're a husband and wife couple. So yeah, that might be a little thing I might have to start looking for.
Agreed.
And so you mentioned the screening system on guests, and you said you even were able to lower your price, and riffraff was not able to get through. So could you explain your screening system to us?
So it's never perfect. I guess I would say I'm more risk adverse with it, because we have systems also to get those to kind of end those bookings.
That was right,
during the worst time.
We don't have to be as risky now.
But no, we ended up hiring 3 VAs right before COVID started too. Was able to keep them on. Ended up growing now to 5, and having the Ring doorbells, having the noise awares, having really strict, clear rules. And it's never going to be perfect, but having it in your listing. With Verbo, we feel a little bit more protected than we sometimes through Airbnb. Airbnb was all right during COVID. If there was a party or anything's damaged, we were able to go through the resolution center.
Refund B&B.
Yeah, refund B&B. We could go through and get some receipts and everything. And so at least we can make that back. But no, it was definitely tough, but I felt it was better than the alternative of staying unbooked. And at least while we were trying to grow and figure something out, we lost it was pretty fun. I shouldn't say it's fun. It's funny now. We were 1 year in business. It was, I think, March 14th, March 15th. We went to a local Chicago comedy club. We had his family in.
Friends.
Yes.
All celebrating
1 year in business. We beat winter, and we're
broke even.
Smooth sailing now. And within 24 hours, we're at the comedy club. We lost about $90,000 in bookings. And yeah, it was, and we were almost just hysterical. We were just like, oh my God, what do we do? We're all in. So we had to kind of figure it out, and we thought it would be better. We tried to beef up security. We tried to push for longer stays. And then we were just trying to prove to our couple clients that, hey, we can still bring in something. I know it's not what you were expecting, but going against the alternative of not being booked, it ended up working out decently well for us.
See that's a first, because I've always heard of guys losing $90,000 at a strip club, but not at a comedy club.
So you guys said something about Verbo protections. Now, I've never heard too much about Verbo protections. Like during the pandemic, you guys had a lot of success with Verbo protections. I know the caliber of guests, the COVID guests, you definitely got a different caliber of guests. But really, Verbo has good protections and pays out.
I guess with Verbo, there's kind of three options. There's not be insured. They have the CSA where the guest can pay $79.99, $119, and that was our option that we went with at first. But then we realized guests were kind of running out of our garage, lifted our garage, and we weren't able to get anything because they said it was broken due to a rule violation. And then they have a third option where you can set your own security deposit. So now it's almost like our direct booking site. I can put a $300 security deposit. I can put a $350 security deposit. Is it going to help all the time? No, it's not. Is it going to cover a couple of the little things that $300 would have been nice? It was $550 to fix the garage, or a little. I can't remember.
Right.
But no, it was there, and it wasn't. The thing with Airbnb is maybe like you can bring in all your receipts and everything, and you have everything organized. But if you don't respond within 48 hours, or they're looking for any kind of way to
calling you in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Only call me like at 3 a.m. instead of regular normal work hours. That's actually gotten better.
Right.
But it seemed like we were fighting tooth and nail for so long, and it drags out. Sometimes it's months, and it's like, all right, that would have been nice within the month, especially during a tough time where we need some money to keep this business going.
And Verbo's better. They're not as refund happy, right? They definitely seem to. Right.
Yeah. For Airbnb, it's funny. We had our thing is before COVID, if we had unpackaged food, we would leave it for the next guest. We had people in for Lala. We left a bunch of pizza rolls.
Yeah, Claw.
White Claw, yep. We had one guest. He did not like that there was unopened pizza rolls in our freezer, and he pulled out one of our dressers, stayed the weekend, and then took a picture of the dresser and tried to go for a full refund, saying the place wasn't ready.
And the drawer was like this crooked and open.
And that one just kind of stuck with me as like, oh man, we're kind of on the defense a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But we do try to give our if there are things though, like our team, we have a budget to give back for gas and everything, because not everything's going to be perfect. But sometimes it's just funny. It's just like, all right, light bulb in a lamp was out, or batteries from the remote were taken. You're 50% that night, and it's like, oh man, hurts.
Now, you mentioned earlier your 24/7 cameras. How does that work?
So we have our team of VAs, and we basically have Ring cameras at, let's say, about 70% of our properties are more of our high-risk properties. And what they do as part of their schedule is they're going through and cycling through the cameras. They have the notifications on their phone when there's motion, and just making sure that things are looking good. And now it's a kind of a little bit of a different time versus COVID. With Chicago especially, all the bars were closed, restaurants are closed. So people were looking to have a place to have a party, invite 40 to 50 people. And part of our portfolio were bigger homes. Mm-hmm. So it was a little bit tougher there, but with at least the Ring camera, Airbnb has been better with, oh man, it's 25 people coming in, or that's the 25th person coming in, and you allow 8. So it ended up helping at least a little bit with our cases. And it also lets our team, we call the guests right away. Away if we have to call other people, or some of our boots on the ground, or if we have to call, it's only happened a couple of times, if we have to call the police, at least we have someone watching and able to do so.
And there's a couple really obvious giveaways too. We've noticed now, like most of the time if someone's walking in with balloons from the start, it's not great. I mean, it's older people and it's fine, but like balloons,
the big
speakers,
numbers.
Oh man,
these people came with a giant 37 light up. It's like, where are you going?
It's
kick out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So how do you go about stopping a party remotely?
So we reach out right away. Our team reached out right away. If they're not responsive or refuse to get out, we immediately file with Airbnb, and then we partnered with a security team here in Chicago, and then we have one out in California too, where they'll come and they'll say you're violating the rules and you need to vacate. And luckily, it's intimidating enough that everyone everyone realizes we need to get out. We're either breaking the law here. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to lose my money.
And we'll have Airbnb or Verbo cancel it on their behalf. So there isn't a reservation. So it could be trespassing.
So yeah, it's kind of like a rent-a-cop service, but they're not really cops. They're just security team.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's pretty ingenious right there. How much does something like that cost?
In Chicago, it's only $250.
$250 a month?
No, $250 per kickout.
Oh, it's a per Oh, okay. Oh, that's
40
not
people
bad.
at home. It's unbelievably great.
And our team's good at getting to it faster. So before anything really happens or anything, and most people actually will leave. So, at least half.
Right. Once they're caught.
It's mentioned. So having someone being able to catch it early, having a backup plan if it doesn't go smoothly, has definitely helped, because otherwise they could be there. You could have something going on for all night. The neighbors then don't like you. You have them calling us, and it could go on to the next night. And
that's pretty cool. And then you don't have to get the police involved and risk getting shut down and all kinds of craziness. That's ingenious right there. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Go ahead, Steve.
No, go ahead. I've asked a lot.
You guys said your direct booking site. So how are you driving? What are you using for your direct booking site, and how are you driving traffic there?
Yeah, with the direct site, it's something we really, really are trying to get better at and get more and more bookings. And it's funny because in some places it's not as popular, but like our vacation rental towns, people are experienced vacationers. So they see a company name, you go on Airbnb, they'll look up the company name, and then you're at your site. They will compare the price. And as long as you make it a little bit less, and even if it's a little bit less, it's actually going to be more for you because you're saving on the Airbnb fees. We sit right around 8%, higher than what our nightly rate on Airbnb is. But with that, we have an Instagram. We'll do some marketing. We'll do some paid marketing. And then we also will, we have little boxes where you can click to subscribe. You get directed to our MailChimp, and then we'll send out a bi-weekly newsletter. And then once on the site, we even have like a little chat bot as well from a company called TDO. And it's nice. Our VAs monitor that too. So just like an Airbnb or Verbo, someone comes to your site. I came across it because before NoiseAware, before they changed their software, they had this chat bot. It popped up every single time you clicked anything, and it kind of drove me a little crazy. And I'm like, I need one. So I ended up looking up a bunch of them, and this one seemed to work out pretty well. And now our team monitors that just like Airbnb, Verbo, but it's another place for us to communicate with the guest.
No, that's Tidio, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm using it too. Thanks for that one.
Now I heard the Microsoft Word paperclip guy is out of work. If you want to hire him, that freaking thing would annoy me back in the day, trying to type something and hey, you're screwing up.
So Google Docs, are you signing in the right account?
Yeah. So the security team, this is really cool for me because I'm going to use this. I have a fledgling management company myself, so I'm stealing all your ideas. Hope you don't mind. So the security team, $250. Do you have it in your rules? If a guest tries to throw a party, you charge them $500 or something like that.
So we do say it's $500. Sometimes it's $750. Good luck getting it from Airbnb.
Oh, okay.
But what we will put is you have to pay for the security team. Security team invoices you. Our other thing is if you block the camera, no blocking the camera, nothing good happens before that. And if you block the camera, we will call the security team. It's one of the things we're kind of no nonsense about. Deliberately, you walk by it fine, but if you're standing putting your hand over it or piece of paper and you hear everyone come, you can still hear.
No one's even gotten creative. I tried to put a picture of what's actually happening.
Yeah, like in the movies, right? You put it
exactly. Everyone's very
block the camera. I like that. That's cool.
So you might have answered this. So you pay them per dispatch?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. In California, they want you to be on retainer. So we've actually been looking into another company.
They wanted you on retainer.
Yeah, and California is a higher market because like Malibu in particular, like the parties are ridiculous right now. Like the stuff we're fighting. I mean, we have almost all good guests, but every 2 months right now, there's somebody trying to book our house and sell 300 tickets to a party and throw a massive party at it. And we caught one beforehand on social media, and then one, unfortunately, started, and we had to work to get them out and everything. It was pretty crazy. That at least Airbnb is seeming like it's a long process, but it's seeming like they're going to cover us for the damages.
So you guys said you're in Malibu too, right?
Yeah, that's the one that. Oof,
yeah, you guys weren't the one that the balcony crashed down on the Airbnb deal.
No. So we were right after. So I'm on the phone with the sheriff's department, and I go in Malibu, and she goes, "Are you the crashed balcony to the beach?" No, thankfully not.
Man. Okay. Another thing. Hiring VAs. What are your secrets to finding great VAs?
Oh, it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. So we started with onlinejobs.ph, which was great. I have no background at looking through resumes or hiring in general, so it was a lot. It was a lot of work. I went through hundreds of resumes, did a bunch of calls, and we were going to hire one person, and we ended up hiring 4. 3 ended up joining, and just because of how impressed we were with kind of the price and everything and how we kind of mapped it out. Of those 3, we've got a couple of friends, family, some of them took other jobs, but now we then had to go to a virtual staff finder. $500, definitely the way to go. You have professionals, you give all your descriptions of what you're looking for in that job, and they'll give you 3 candidates. Of those 3 candidates, we hired all 3. One didn't end up working out, but one's now our manager, and the other one has great personality and had no Airbnb experience before, but it was a lot of hand holding in the beginning. It was kind of follow how we do this, follow how I do this. And it was a little bit of micromanaging. You'd probably say more. Yeah. And I probably stayed in it a little bit too long, but it ended up now they're great. They get 80-90% right. Big decisions, they'll still kind of work with us, but for the most part, they have the green light.
It's really cool to see them like progress, and you can watch them get so much better, and then they start to have ownership over it. Like, I think all of them really enjoy working for us and what they do, and it's just really cool to see that.
Nice. And I guess another question people get a lot is, when you start off like a VA, and do you pay them hourly? Because like I know there'd probably be a lot of downtime if there's no messaging to answer, stuff like that. How do you work out the pay structure and as towards how much work they actually do?
So we used to do that. We would have an hourly, your on rate and your off rate. It was during COVID, it was really slow. Now we don't worry about it, and it's definitely the way to go, where we now have either like a fixed hour or we kind of have a salaried position.
Most of them now, and what we're transitioning to is like a more of a salaried position where they have a set amount per month. We give out raises whenever we feel they're necessary. We're doing the 1 month bonus that they're that's like custom in the Philippines. We actually do it in the summer because we're still a little bit of a seasonal business, and then we still give the Christmas bonus. But we also have like a lot of benefits. We give them PTO, or we give them paid time off. We do bi-month or bi-weekly team meetings where we let them go buy dinner and stuff for their families after, and we cover all of that. So in the end, I think we treat them pretty well, and it ends up being a pretty good pay.
Nice. And you mentioned San Diego earlier. Now, I hear there's some pretty tough restrictions there. How's that working?
It's coming, but it's not effect. Right. I think they're currently saying that it will go into effect next July. No one exactly really knows how it's going to go yet. It seems like it's going to be somewhat of a free-for-all to get your hands on these licenses, and the city's only going to give out so many of them. So we're just doing everything we can to meet, everyone that pays attention to this kind of stuff, maybe anyone that would be able to help us get these licenses, because we really love San Diego. And I gotta imagine if they wipe out that many Airbnbs, the amount that they're saying, that the ones that actually have licenses are going to be that much better. Because I think they're talking about like 15,000 down to 5,000 or something ridiculous.
Yeah, I joined a couple of the calls through Airbnb. Yeah, it seems it's pretty tough. I've been in San Diego a while, and yeah, it's a very tough market. But yeah, I can put you in contact with any people that I could run across, and
Oh, that'd be amazing.
yeah, definitely get you in contact with them because yeah, San Diego's a tough one, but it's profitable though, you know.
I know.
All right, the great debate: arbitrage versus management. What side of the debate are y'all on, and or do y'all dabble in both, or what? How do y'all approach that?
What kind of economy? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I mean, clearly in an up economy, arbitrage is going to make you the most money, and you don't have clients to answer to. But that's the ultimate situation: is everything's booming, and you're in complete control, and you don't have anyone to answer to, and you're making the most money possible. But client management's pretty great. I mean, you make money every month, no matter what, and the additional business that our clients lead to because they refer us to our next clients, and they're constantly buying more stuff, and it's a constant stream of new properties. There's definitely benefits to client management, and but there's definitely tough parts too because you're answering to somebody, and your job is to make them money and to make them happy.
Now, what percentage are y'all in management and arbitrage?
How many arbitrage we got left? 15?
We have 15. Yeah.
Yeah, we're 15 of our 60 are arbitrage.
Okay, so mostly management. Cool.
Hold on, you
Yeah.
said 50 or 15?
15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Those are really basically our original 15. I think we only have a couple of new ones since COVID. I mean, we're considering it now, going back into arbitrage. I mean, our ultimate goal is to buy and to own enough properties that actually cash flow as long-term rentals. So we have those real estate assets forever so we can retire, but in areas that we can Airbnb and just supercharge the returns, either pay down the property faster or save up for our next one faster. But it's a tough market to buy in right now. So maybe arbitrage needs to move while the economy's so hot.
have you guys considered like different creative strategies when it comes to buying?
So we have, whenever an opportunity has come across, like we'll offer to do seller financing is something we're very interested in. Or even like the problem is right now we've got enough investors, clients, friends, and family who all want to buy. And we all want to buy, we've got money ready, and it's like, let's go. And this market's just kind of nuts. So we're still looking. I know we'll find something, but we were able to go into the group of investors on 7 cottages and then 2 more houses in Southwest Michigan. We really want to do more of that kind of stuff, but I think the dream would be to buy like multi-family properties that cash flow with long-term rentals, but then that are in areas that are cool with short-term rentals and put them all online.
Yeah.
Nice. So how do y'all go about finding your own arbitrages? Plus, how do you find units for other clients that want to do this?
I think agents have been our best bet so far. I mean, like Peter was saying in the beginning, it was all cold calling and Zillow blasting and walking for dollars and all the classic, strategies. But now it's just partnering with really great real estate agents who have a lot of power behind their name, so that when they go to other real estate agents and say, "Hey, you need to consider this Airbnb thing and letting my clients do this. It's a good deal for you." They'll listen to them because they have that much respect.
And we did target in the beginning, at least, some places that weren't great for long-term rents.
Right.
Like above a bar is great for when you're in town for a Cubs weekend, but to live above a bar isn't great for 12 months. So you kind of see, how long has this been on? Your agent will let you know how long this one's been on. Has it been rented at 8 months? And normally then you kind of explain, you go in with your agent and normally give them your little elevator pitch, and they're looking just to kind of fill that apartment.
Right. That reminds me, man. I visited New York. This was years back, but talking about living above shops, businesses, bars, whatever. This one place was right above a Dunkin' Donuts, and and it smelled really good. But man, when we got back here to Dallas, I smelled like donuts for a week, man. It's crazy. So yeah, living above shops, it's an experience, an Airbnb experience.
Yeah.
So how do you like handle everything? Let's say I came to you, hey man, I really love to have my own arbitrage and you ought to manage it. How do y'all handle everything for them? Say, hey, I got a place for you. We'll get it furnished for you. Boom, boom, boom. And how much does it cost to get someone set up?
we're completely hands off in terms of setting up. Whatever the cost of the furnishings is, we don't do the furnishing ourselves. We partner with a stager or local person who does that, and then we'll just get the best quotes that we can. And it's anywhere from, I mean, geez, we've done as low as like $3,000 for 1 or 2 bed, but it's typically more like 5,000 to 10,000 to furnish something.
Okay, cool.
But other than that, yeah, it's completely hands off. We do everything from marketing, advertising, booking, guest management, turnovers, maintenance, repairs, financial reporting. It's a completely carefree experience once you hire us.
Nice. And what kind of percentage do you charge?
We've really progressed. In the beginning, we had to get creative and bring on our first clients and gain trust. And we actually offered like we only make money when you make money. So if we're under market rent, we don't charge a fee, and if we're over market rent, we took 70%. That was our thing for a while. Once COVID happened, it was no way we could do that. So we shifted to more of like a 20% of net income. So everything we bring in minus all the operating expenses, that way we have skin in the game in terms of spending as little as we can for them. Now we've graduated to the point where we're growing enough, and we only want to take on the types of properties that we know we want to take on with a minimum profit target for us, and in areas that we know we have a team that we can run very smoothly and isn't just going to be a huge headache. And with those kinds of properties, we bring in enough money for our clients now, we're able to charge 25% of revenue. That's really our new model, which there's still a lot of players out there charging 30 plus. I mean, we've been looking at Northern Michigan, and they're charging 50% of revenue up there. It's insane.
Damn.
So maybe something we can break into.
Love that.
That's what we've been looking at next.
Mm-hmm.
Peter's family's got some places up there.
Which model are owners more likely to say yes to? The revenue split, like the net split, or the management model? Which one have you seen that they're more inclined to be, more, hey, I want to do this?
Oh, I think the split is a shoo-in. Like when we were doing we only get paid when you get paid thing, that is guaranteed. We close every time. No, we're not going to do that. And then even the 20% of net, I mean, most of the time it's a steal for them. If they're in a situation where they're not getting the long-term rent they need, and we can offer 20% of net income, I mean, that was almost always a shoo-in as well. And then now, people are starting to bulk a little bit at the percentage of revenue, but there's other players out there, and I know we're as good as them. So it's almost like if it's going to be anything less than that, we don't need it.
It's got to be worth our time too. It's
Right.
got to hit a bottom dollar amount.
And when you guys mainly target the landlord, right? Instead of the big apartment complexes?
Correct. Yeah. Like in Chicago, the big apartment complexes, almost all of them. It's not allowed. I mean, we could do like the corporate leases, the 30-day stays, but we just haven't had our niche yet.
One quick question that's been on my mind since we started. What stadium is that behind you in that picture?
That's Michigan Stadium.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm a big Buckeyes fan, so yeah. But y'all are still cool dudes. Oh man, you had a good basketball team this year. That's true.
Nice. Yeah, at least we got something right now.
You hadn't beat us since the 90s, but at football. But bad basketball team, not bad.
Yeah, a rough one.
So is that a diamond goat around your neck?
Yeah, we're trying to. Way back when we first got into this, things were hot in 2019, so everyone was jumping into this space, and it was so crowded. We were like, all right, what do we need to do to stand out here? So number one, we were like, okay, if we're gonna get in this business, let's go all out. Let's be the best. We're gonna be the goats. So we chose the name Goat Hote. That's like our company. And then also it's like, how do we stand out? And we said, if we put goats all over everything, we put goats in our units, goats on our social media, wear goats around, and people are going to remember us as the goat people. At least it's something to stand out versus, plain Sonder with the same unit everywhere. So.
That
Next
is
year,
a good idea on Brandon right there. Keep the goat, and then you guys put goats in every unit?
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
everyone likes like a little goat painting or goat artwork.
Yeah, little statues, all this
this
kind of stuff.
guy,
Yeah, we're just
yeah.
always on Amazon looking for goats.
And you guys also said something at the beginning. You guys said you would walk for dollars.
Yep.
Now, okay, how do you choose where to walk at for dollars? Like I know I've driven for dollars, but to walk for dollars, are you guys just targeting downtown areas? How are you choosing? How are you choosing those areas?
Yep, it was really based off the units that were working well for us. So like Wrigleyville was our best unit when the Cubs were good, and it was summertime, and it was pre-COVID. So we would just walk around Wrigleyville and take down every for rent sign, for rent by owner. We drop off our business cards everywhere and just start calling people. That was the best. Plus, it's like to us, it was inspiring. So we would also do it in areas where maybe it was a little bit harder. Like we would do it in the Gold Coast of Chicago, just looking for rents also, even though there was not a lot of them, but like the houses, just these multi-million-dollar row homes, brick and gray stone, and you just can't not be fired up about life doing that.
Nice way to spend like a Saturday or Sunday too. Go out for a couple hours, walk around. I was new to the city, or I hadn't moved yet too, so it was me being not from the big city. It was just like, oh my god, this is awesome. I loved it. I looked forward to it.
Nice. So branding is real big with you guys, right?
Yeah.
And so is that? I mean, that's part of what the goat thing is to stand out, huh?
Exactly.
How what else do you do to stick out, to brand your company as good as you can?
We've really evolved it now. I think at the beginning we were like, let's just, Grant Cardone style barrel in and be the best, And I think now we've realized, our units we don't want to be a Sonder. And we want something unique. And we have different types of units all across the country, whether it's small units that are outdated in cool locations to mansions to big townhomes. And no matter what, we wanted something that we could hang our hat on and be uniform about. And we realized one of the reasons we love this business is we love travel and we love food and going out and trying fun things. So we realized if we can be the people that provide our guests with the greatest experiences of all time, then that's something we can hang our hat on. So we're all about finding the best restaurants, the best things to do, and letting our guests know about that.
The goat recommendations.
Exactly. The goat racks, that's what we call them.
Our goal is even have little goat statues. We'll just go give them to restaurants.
Yep.
Don't know what they'll do with them, but that's down
when we're the next Michelin, he'll look back at those two young kids who walk in with the golden goat, and they said, "What the hell is this?"
But we're even doing it to an extent right now. We have a promotion called Goat Local. If you use our hashtag Goat Local, tag the restaurant and tag us on Instagram, we'll give you $15 back. And then you can use that twice. So go to any state. We're trying to support local business. It's tough times. Completely.
We were also just sick of all these people saying that Airbnb is like the worst thing for the city, and we're just throwing parties and we're negative. And it's like, in reality, when you're somewhere where there's a lot of tourism, at least, Airbnb is huge for the local economy, especially now that hotels aren't doing a great job because no one wants to stay there. We're the ones bringing in people from another economy, and we're the ones having our travelers spend money in the local economy. And right now, that's more important than ever. So to us, it's like, I'm sick of Airbnb and short-term rentals having this negative name. Like, we're going to actually give back to the community.
Now, have you ever, I mean, y'all got a ton of listings, you have a ton of experiences. What do you do when a guest starts cussing you out on the Airbnb messaging?
Luckily, it's not as our team handles all guest management. And luckily, we have 5 of the nicest people of all time, because that's kind of what we went for with our customer service team. They do get some not so happy guests, but they do have a good way of diffusing the situation. And when we go into a situation like that, whether our fault, their fault, is we're still trying to be pro guest as much as we can be. And sometimes it might bite us in the butt, but I think they're doing the right thing in hospitality, and it is our business, it works better for us than it doesn't.
All right, crazy story time. Tell us the craziest thing y'all ever been through during an Airbnb. There's a lot of them.
One of them was that just the Malibu, someone trying to sell 400 tickets to a party in her house. That was pretty ridiculous. But
I still want my money back for that, by the way.
I know, that's right.
The thing is, it kind of stunk because we had an Airbnb booking for a weekend,
Yeah.
and then Airbnb canceled it. And they're like, okay, this is weird. They're like, someone's trying to throw a party, didn't provide any details. Two
But
weeks
they didn't
later,
tell us that,
no,
right?
2
Yeah.
weeks later, someone on Verbo books it. And it had the same last name, different first name. So we're thinking brother, sister, something. And then after they check in, Airbnb sends us a thing like, hey, we shut down this party. Here was a link to their Instagram or something.
2 weeks later.
The day they check in, 2 weeks later, I click the link and I'm seeing mansion party, 400 tickets sold, hit this person up. And we're just like, oh no, all systems go. Or I'm calling the guy.
Yeah.
Our team's calling. We're calling the police to be heads
Watching all
up.
these different Instagram accounts.
Yeah.
We're like creating fake Instagram accounts to message them like, hey, where's the party at? To make sure that you know.
Oh, nice.
And we're just watching it. Luckily, finally, one day they all announced like, owner's crazy, gotta move this party. Like, still on, come here.
Yeah, they ended up moving it to a restaurant, and instead of having 500 people, like 15 came back, which was, I'll take it.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
We still got the booking.
We still got the booking and the fine. Yeah.
Now I have a question. 400 tickets sold. Now this brings me to the ultimate question. How big is this property, and how much were you charging per night for this property?
It is a large house in Malibu, four beds, 3 outdoor spaces, multiple living rooms. It's a big house, and it's very private in Malibu. Unfortunately, it's a huge security risk.
Yeah.
But usually we just, with our screening and our reviews and everything like that, I mean, we price most people out, honestly.
Wow. Because that's been the thing, because I don't know if you guys seen the video in North Dallas, man. Dude's property just got destroyed due to a party. And that's my biggest thing. I'm like, okay. But this dude clearly had no systems in place. He just had a huge place and was letting anyone book. But I was like, man, how much does he charge per night? And because I know partiers usually do the one-night stays and things like that. So also, what things are you guys putting in place so partiers don't book that place again? Are you guys doing like no one-night stays, extremely high fees? What are you guys doing?
We have very, very strict house rules, listing rules. We really try to push and be a family-oriented place here. We don't we add like either whether it's a higher cleaning fee or a higher management fee. It all goes into the revenue, but that's per stay. So we have extra things per stay to force people. It makes more sense for them to do longer stays.
We have the party warnings. Part of our automated messages are the party warnings, like we were talking about earlier. No parties, you risk eviction, fines, all the above. And
very upfront with the outdoor cameras, noise aware systems. So just trying to push as many of those things so you're looking between 2 different listings. And it's not cheap. Like it's not cheap at all to book there. But you're comparing 2, and it's like feel a little bit safer going maybe with a different option if I'm not planning on following these rules.
Right. We strike up a conversation beforehand too. Our VAs do a really good job now coming in. What are you doing in town? How many people are going to be there? And that just strikes up a pretty good conversation where a lot of the times we know.
Yeah. We need to know purpose of stay. We need to know how many people are staying.
Right.
We need to know how many visitors.
What was in Chicago, the big excuse was funerals, right?
During COVID.
Yeah, funerals, weren't really a thing during COVID, and the amount of people trying to throw parties using funerals as their excuse. I think our VAs are terrified of funerals to this day.
Completely. Yeah. We have one checking in tonight. I was like, I think this one's fine.
Right,
this one,
right.
Wish your condolences.
Yes.
But no, our first 7 funerals were not funerals.
No.
They were ragers, and then the 8th one. Very sorry for ladies lost, and it was legit. And it's like, all right, we're starting to get past COVID.
Yes.
Bars are opening, restaurants are opening. No one wants to say no for family in town for a funeral, but the amount of funerals that were same day Wednesday, Thursdays. It was like, there's something going on here.
A lot of pent up frustration from not being able to party at the clubs, right? At the bars. Oh man.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask you. So, what are your guys' plans for like expansion? Are you guys looking to expand more? And also, what areas would you guys like to target?
We're trying to be very focused now. So we are taking our top markets and we're looking at types of properties that are most successful there that we know we can plug and play into our best teams in the country. So we still like San Diego currently. We know we can get at least another year out of it. We're hoping we can figure that out. We're looking for, another multi-unit building that we can rent all of them together. I think that completely avoids the neighbor issues that we're having in Chicago. We really like that. And then we're really targeting, there's 3 of them. That's one. Our number 2 best stuff, and actually maybe our number 1 best stuff, is these lake towns. Like it's still COVID enough that everyone wants to get away from the city and they want their own space, and people are loving lake towns. We're seeing prices higher than they've ever been in these lake towns. So like one of the properties that we're being most successful on in Michigan right now, it's 1 plot of land that we have 7 cottages on. So we're essentially bringing in 7 units worth of income on 1 piece of property. We bought the thing for $600,000 and spent 150, 200 on improvements. But I mean, the thing cash flows insanely well. And then,
I just one thing about like anything with like Michael said about full apartment buildings or even complexes. One thing that we do that I think a lot of hosts don't take advantage of, if you have multiple units in like a building or have an apartment building, list it all together and then have your sub apartments, because the amount of times in San Diego is like you can book all 4 of ours individually, but there's not many places in San Diego where you can book an entire building that sleeps 30 people and you charge a premium for it. If you booked each 4 individually, we put about 30% on it as an entire thing, and it flies off. I mean, it's rare because sometimes a lot of one of the apartments are going to be booked or one of the cottages are going to be booked, but you get a lottery ticket a month. It really helps in the bottom line.
Look at it in the 7 cottages on 1 plot of land in Southwest Michigan on Paw Paw Lake. We have 3 straight bookings that are all 7 cottages for that premium in July. Those 3 bookings are a total of $18,000 in revenue for 1 week, and that's good.
And it's a small town that we're both from Michigan. We never heard of it.
No. Right.
So
that is amazing, man. That is amazing. I've always heard in the past, like I have friends that were in the hotel industry and stuff like that, and they say, for example, like Chinese tourists like to travel in big groups together and come to town together. So something like that would be great, for foreign people coming to the country and wanting to stay in one big group and save a lot of money, right?
Weddings we found have been great. Football games, those have been great.
Completely. And too, like if you add more people to it, you show up in more searches. So whether we have 4 2-bedroom, they sleep 5 units. So a total of 20 people can sleep there. So sometimes you look breaking down on family, okay, 5 people, okay, 6 people, we're not going to show up. But maybe if you're looking for 7 people, San Diego's a busy town. Maybe now our entire listing shows up. It's a lottery ticket that takes an extra 25 minutes to set up.
I love that.
Yeah, I need to go do that. Start listing my places together as one. I think we just talked about that too, Steve, didn't we?
Yeah. I got 2 units coming up for a couple clients of mine, and they're like literally, like 2 doors down from each other in the same little complex, right? And I was like, man, and we could list it, like you said, as a group, as 2 1-bedrooms together, and make like this, this place where it'll fit more people, whatever. And then, and then individual listing for each one. And Michael was showing me how he does that, how he's done that before, like renting out a house room by room or rent it out all together.
Right. And your porter makes it really easy. I think, Michael, you use it, or I don't know.
Yes, sir.
And it's really easy to link the calendars together.
Right.
That's on my to-do list now.
The goats, man. This has been a great interview, y'all. Thanks for hopping on with us.
We appreciate it.
It's really been good having y'all, man. I've talked to y'all. I think one or both of y'all in the DMs before, man. And y'all are killing it. Keep doing it, man. And thank you for coming on. And thank you for continuing to listen to us. Didn't know you guys were listening to us in the cubicle. That's crazy.
We started a little bit late, but then we kind of went back and worked our way through. But yeah, no.
I think I was ahead of you one week, and I'm sitting next to Peter, and I think it was when you were talking about Tidio, and you mentioned Peter, and all of a sudden I go, uh-oh. I paused it, my headphones playing out loud. It was pretty funny.
It was awesome.
Let's go. Where can people find y'all?
So our Gmail would be just goathote@gmail.com, GOATHOTE, and then goathote.com, and then our Instagram will be @goatstays.
.com. Sweet. Thank you so much. Any parting words? People that are nervous to get into the industry, any advice for them?
Yeah. You want to go?
Yeah, the best thing. So Michael and I are complete opposites. I was perfect everything, and Michael's like, done's better than perfect. And I'd say just jump in, get started. It's the best. It's the best advice you get. It's the only way you can really learn this business is getting started and figuring it out as you go. There's no right way.
And we're also, if you want to learn from us, like we're also always looking for partners. So we usually offer a 10% of our profit for any referral for a client or a property or basically anything that we end up doing. Like if you bring us a client or you bring us a property and we end up managing that property or renting it or whatever, we cut that person into 10% of our profit.
Nice.
Yep. And that's worked really well for us. We've got some great partners that love sending stuff our way.
Oh man, I'm sending some people to you. 10%?
Yeah.
That's over the whole deal?
Yep.
Oh, your inbox is about to blow up.
That's why they're the goats.
Yeah, that's a goat move right there.
Peter and Michael, thank y'all so much for hopping on, man. Wish y'all the best of luck.
It was fun. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Catch you on the other side.
Sounds good.
See you. Man, another powerful episode, dude. They dropped some gems, man. I was like, dang, that was a really good episode, dude. Like the bi-week, dang, that's what I wanted to ask him. I want to know what's in those bi-weekly newsletters they send out, because that's a smart idea to keep your brand in front of them. The goat thing. I was like, dang, they turned that into a theme, and it's their name. That was dope, man. Yeah, man, I can't wait to have them back, because I know it'll probably be at 100 units by then. But any things you took from the episode?
Well, I got like 2 pages of notes, man. So what do they say? Great artists borrow. I was like, good artists borrow, great artists steal. No, they were cool with it. They're sharing everything they know, and that's the thing about shows like this, or real estate shows, Bigger Pocket, whoever. They'll give you all the whole business. Here, this is how you do it. And what, 99% of the people ain't going to do it anyways, right?
That's what it is, man.
Y'all 1% out there that are going to take our advice, take our guest advice, and do this, y'all going to be very successful. You have no excuses.
Facts, dude. Like this whole giving people 10% if they bring you can't beat that. Dude, what?
I'm calling Federico right now talking about that.
Yeah, that's one hell of. I was like, damn, and I got to start pricing my direct booking site a little lower. So I didn't think about that. Price it 8% less, you still get more money because of the Airbnb fees. I was like, yeah. So yeah, they dropped some real good gems. Those are really actionable steps for everybody to take. You should definitely be able to grow your business after this episode.
Nice. Where can folks find us?
Find us at liveletthrive@gmail.com. Email us at liveletthrive@gmail.com. Send us, you can follow us on IG at liveletthrive. And still, y'all, thank you for continuing to support the show. Man, it's been an awesome ride, and we're going to keep pumping out content and keep growing our businesses. And thank y'all for continuing to support us.
Yeah, hit me up too. Argest Rentals, ARGEST, rentals@gmail.com or argestrentals.com. And I will, try to implement some of this goat stuff in my business. And Micah too, and we're in this to help you guys, and we'd love to chat. Yeah, hit us up.
Helping y'all while we're helping ourselves. All right. We are out.
Later.
Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Live, Let, Thrive. Be sure to tune in next week for all the latest in the world of Airbnb and all that entails. Bye-bye.